Welcome back. Today, we're stepping into the historical domain of the classical reign to explore how humanity first attempted to decode the mechanics of illumination through the elegant language of geometry. For thousands of years, the most brilliant natural philosophers on Earth believed that light did not possess a travel time at all. To the classical mind, light was an instantaneous phenomenon, existing everywhere simultaneously the exact millisecond a source was ignited. This belief was reinforced by everyday observations of shadows. When you wave your hand in front of a candle, your silhouette appears on the distant wall with zero perceptible delay. This created a persistent scientific illusion that light was infinite in speed, a foundational assumption that shaped early optical science and delayed our understanding of cosmic transit for centuries. To make sense of this instantaneous phenomenon, early scientists abandoned abstract philosophy and turned to pure, unyielding mathematics, mapping the behavior of light using straight lines and geometric angles. They discovered that when a ray of light strikes a highly polished, flat surface, it bounces off with mathematical perfection. We define this behavior as the classical law of reflection, written simply as the angle of incidence theta sub I, measured between the incoming light ray and the surface normal, equals the angle of reflection theta sub R, measured between the outgoing ray and that same normal line. This elegant geometric symmetry formed the absolute bedrock of classical optics, allowing early civilization to manipulate paths, construct mirrors, and direct illumination with mathematical precision. While reflection kept light rays perfectly straight, scientists quickly noticed that when light passes through a transparent material like water or glass, the straight arrows appear to snap and bend. To untangle this mystery, classical physics developed a more sophisticated mathematical tool known as Snell's law of refraction. The core equation is written as the refractive index of the first medium, and sub 1 multiplied by the sine of the incident angle theta sub 1 equals the refractive index of the second medium, and sub 2 multiplied by the sine of the refracted angle theta sub 2. This formula allowed engineers to calculate exactly how much a beam of light curves, paving the way for the invention of eyeglasses, microscopes, and advanced astronomical telescopes. This geometric framework brings us directly back to our primary household puzzle, the physical nature and speed of a shadow. In classical geometric optics, light is treated as a collection of straight, independent trajectories called rays. When a solid macroscopic object intersects these rays, it acts as a geometric barrier. Because the light rays cannot curve around the object in this simple model, a region of absolute spatial exclusion is created behind the barrier. The position of this excluded zone over time is mapped using the standard linear kinematics equation, written as position vector x as a function of time, t equals the initial position vector x sub 0 plus the velocity, vector v multiplied directly by time t. By analyzing this kinematics equation, a profound physical realization emerges from the classical math. A shadow is not a tangible material object made of atoms, nor is it a self-propagating energy field radiating through space. It is a completely negative phenomenon, defined entirely as a local absence of photons. When your body moves, your shadow does not move because it is being pushed by a physical force. Rather, your body is continuously updating the spatial coordinates where light rays are being blocked. Because a shadow is empty space devoid of energy, it represents a unique loophole in the fabric of classical mechanics. It exists as a geometric projection, an optical illusion of form that can achieve physical behaviors that solid matter and pure energy can never duplicate under our current laws of relativity. This structural loophole leads directly to a mind-melting paradox that sounds like absolute science fiction. A shadow can technically travel faster than the speed of light. Imagine projecting a highly powerful spotlight from Earth onto the distant surface of the moon, placing a small object directly in front of the lens to cast a lunar shadow. If you quickly move that object by a fraction of a millimeter on Earth, the corresponding shadow on the moon will sweep across thousands of kilometers of lunar terrain in a tiny fraction of a millisecond. The calculated velocity of that dark silhouette across the lunar surface will easily surpass the absolute speed limit of causality, c. This occurs because the shadow does not violate the rules of physics. It carries no mass, no energy, and absolutely zero physical information between those distant lunar coordinates. To understand why this faster-than-light movement is permissible, we must look closely at how information is transmitted through space. According to modern physics, no physical signal can travel between two distinct points faster than the constant speed of light, c. When a shadow sweeps across the moon at a superluminal speed, point A on the moon cannot use that shadow to send a message to point B on the moon. The shadow is merely a sequence of independent light arrivals being cut off by a source back on Earth. The velocity of the shadow is a purely geometric projection velocity, a mathematical artifact of distance and angles. It proves that while the actors within the cosmic stage are strictly bounded by relativity, the empty spaces and absences created by geometry can dance at speeds that defy our imagination. While this superluminal shadow paradox showcases the beautiful utility of early geometric optics, it also exposed the very first structural cracks in the classical foundation. By treating light entirely as a collection of straight, unbending arrows that travel through space along linear vectors, classical scientists built a magnificent mathematical system that perfectly explained mirrors and lenses. However, this rigid arrow model completely failed when applied to fine details. It could not explain why the edges of these superluminal shadows became completely blurry and distorted over immense distances, or why light sometimes leaked into areas that geometry declared should be pitch black. The simple geometric ray was an elegant lie of scale, an approximation that was about to be completely upended by an intellectual war over the true texture of illumination. We have traced the elegant geometry of early optics, mastered the laws of reflection and refraction, and unlocked the mind-bending mechanics of superluminal shadows. This concludes our fourth chapter in this massive 20-part epic video series. Now that we have seen how the classical light arrow operates and where its geometric logic begins to show its age, we must turn our attention to the scientific titan who tried to turn these arrows into physical weapons. In our next episode, we will explore the revolutionary work of Sir Isaac Newton, diving deep into his obsession with prisms, his mastery of color, and his fierce declaration that light is a hail of speeding corporate particles. Hit that subscribe button right now, turn on your notifications, and prepare your mind for the war of color.